So a while back I talked about a little movie called The Ant Bully, a film that isn't that well known but is a very underrated, enjoyable and even inspiring animated film. It has great characters, great animation, fantastic scores and outstanding action. It's a movie that I hold very dear to my heart and one that deserves more attention. And then there's this crappy tiny video game nobody asked for. Now I've talked about a lot of video games on this channel. Some are good, some are okay, and some are butt-ass garbage, and this one is the fucking latter. But why is that? Why is this game such a blemish on the Ant Bully's legacy? Well, let's talk about why the Ant Bully game sucks. Now, just like every tiny video game to a movie, it follows the plot of the movie. While most of the levels are original and only a few are reminiscent of scenes in the movie, it mostly adapts the same story through and through. Now this isn't an issue. I mean, The Incredibles game is my favorite tie-in game, and that game beat for beat copies the plot of the movie. But the problem here is the execution. Whereas every level is fun and exciting, this one is mostly drab and dull, and a big part of that is the graphics, which were done by A2M. Now I like A2M. They also did the Monster House game the exact same year and the graphics for that were amazing, but they were not the right choice for this game. The reason it worked for Monster House was because the animation style was kinda stiff and janky and the characters had very rough exteriors, so the graphics matched the look and feel of the Monster House universe. The Ant Bully on the other hand was a lot more fluent and smooth and the characters were a lot more expressive, and the graphics don't emulate it very well. The characters are way too stilted to really execute that same level of energy that the movie had, which makes it very hard to be engrossed in the gaming experience of this game. And I think they should have gone with Heavy Iron Studios. They would have been able to emote much better and the gameplay would have been a lot more fluent. As for the gameplay itself, it's pretty weak. First of all, the controls can be frustrating, especially when you can't jump. Usually the jump button is the O or X button on the Xbox and PlayStation respectively, but here it's the roll button, which makes it very frustrating. When you want single quote T to jump over something, you can jump when you run to the ledge, but that just makes it confusing and inconvenient. The Meet the Robinsons game did this too, but thankfully their trend did die after this. But it shouldn't have even been a trend in the first place. The attack buttons are still the same, though one cool thing about this game, you don't just use this boring looking staff. You also get cool new weapons like a larva silk squirter, dart bow and seed bomb, so there's at least something cool. Depending on how many times you die, you get rewarded with these medals at the end of each level, which all give you a certain amount of points. I'm not sure, but I think they unlock bonus material like concept art or something, but I'm not sure. They're honestly not worth caring about. Most of the levels are pretty much the same. You either have to collect something, save someone, fight something or anything like that. They're all incredibly dull and boring to play through, and because of the graphics don't really have a lot of energy or life in them. The boss fights are okay. The first is honestly very forgettable. It's the wasp he fought in the movie, and he's stuck in the firecracker, and you basically just have to smack the pieces of glass to the stem of the firecracker so that it can light and blow up just like in the movie. Nothing much. The next boss fight is a little better. You have to fight the frog in this one. It's honestly alright compared to the last one, but it's still not great. You basically have to shoot the frog with your dart bow, and when he opens his mouth you have to throw a seed bomb in there. Do this 3 times and he's defeated. Definitely the best boss fight in the game. The last one is just lame. It's the final battle of the movie where you have to fight the exterminator, and it's not challenging in the slightest. First you have to shoot his ear with dart bow, and then you have to shoot his eyes with the larva silk squirter, and then you have to shoot his ass with a dart bow, and then he dies. Okay, not really, but like in the movie he shrinks, but he still looks normal as opposed to the disfigured mess he was in the movie. Lame, 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 lame. Now you'd think the game would be over by now, but no. I didn't mention this, but in the first level there's this side task where you have to collect 100 fire crystals to turn back to human size, and if you don't collect by the time you get to the last level, well, too bad, you have to spend your time collecting those last 85 fire crystals or you don't get to go home. What a fucking piece of shit. When you collect all fire crystals, all you get is a boring recreation of the scene in the movie where Lucas gets his freedom and receives the potion from Zoc with 75% less of the emotion or impact or budget. And also all the characters acting monotoned and bored throughout the duration of this game. And I don't blame them, this game is fucking dull. There is only one word to describe this game. Lame, 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 lame. Everything about this game is soulless, lifeless, dull, unexciting and unengaging and extremely boring. There was never the sense that anybody had a passion for making this game. This was obviously a cheap tie-in cash grab that Warner Bros. To capitalize on the potential success of the movie and nothing more. But in the end nobody won. The movie was a box office bomb and nobody got a single cent of profit for making this shit. This game is a perfect example of a cash and tie-in game. It had no love or care put into it. It was only made as an obligation, because every other movie has a video game, so this one has to as well, and it's a game that has nothing to offer. At least bad video games like Robots had a few memorable levels and memorable boss fights that were enjoyable to play through. This one doesn't have that. The Frog one is okay at best, and the other two just suck. This honestly a video game that you should never seek out. There are so many better games out there that are so much more enjoyable to play, and there are even video games that are either okay or are bad, but have some great levels that you can say, yeah, I didn't like it but I'm glad I played it. This one has none of those things. It's a sad, bland, forgettable, boring excuse of a game that should not even exist. And it might as well not even exist, cause besides the people WHO are dedicated gamers and YouTubers. Nobody does know this game exists. And that just speaks to the magnitude of this game's forgettability and blandness. And that's why the Ant Bully game sucks. Hard, but anyways guys, what do you think? By the way, this is just my opinion. If you like this game, that's fine. I personally can't stand it, but let me know down in the comments. And I'll see you guys later, and remember to like, share, and subscribe.